As random and strange as this might sound, I know that you've had a dream awaken in your heart recently. I know that this dream has filled you with so much excitement and awakening in your life. This new goal, this new project of yours, this new you that you're being. And I know that it's been an amazing, exciting time, but that there's also this other voice speaking to you, telling you to be reasonable, telling you that it's not possible, or that you're making a mistake, or that you can't do it. But you know in your heart, you know in who you really are, that you can do this, and that this journey that you're about to embark on is your literal destiny. Now, I'm not telling you that that means that the path is going to be easy or that there isn't going to be challenges. What I am telling you is that it's going to be extremely, extremely fulfilling and have immense amount of growth and expansion and joy and transformation like you never knew existed before. That's why right now, it's time that we realize that that voice that's telling us to be reasonable, you might be hearing it from certain people in your life to be reasonable. You might be hearing it come up within you, almost like there's this other voice, like a parent. It's like your parent voice that comes in and tells you why something won't work or why you shouldn't do something, almost like it's trying to protect you, almost like it's trying to save you from the pain of failure. I know you know the voice I'm speaking about, and I know that you've heard it. You have to know something, though. And I know that you would not be here right now sharing space in this video. This wouldn't have come up on your feed if you didn't already know this to your core, that you are powerful, and that should you choose to move forward anyway with the dream that your heart has recently revealed to you, you will succeed and it will work out. The only reason I'm making this video is because sometimes in our lives, we're called for something that's greater than us, something that has to do with someone else. You and I are really similar in that lately our heart's been speaking a lot more clearly to us, hasn't it? It's up to us to step aside from our story and our ego and this whole story about being reasonable, telling us why we can't do this, why we can't be this. We're not ready yet. We're going to fail. It's almost like there's this part of us trying to protect us. And all it is fear. And the only reason I'm making this video is because you and I, both of us, we're ready. We're ready for the greatness that is who we have always been, to live through us, to live with us, to stop denying who we really are, and to finally allow ourselves to be with them. We deserve that, you and me. We deserve to be who we really are, and you know that. I know you do. So all the hardships you've ever experienced that encourage that voice telling you to be reasonable, how painful was it that time you failed? How painful was it that time you were rejected? I know you don't want to experience that again. I know. But I also know that is your very willingness to move forward anyways, that very accepting that very well might happen again, but that you are going to pursue your dream anyways, that is the people who succeed in this world. And you are one of those people. You are. You are. Now that voice telling you to be reasonable, telling you all the reasons why this won't work, just take a moment with me right now. Relax into this moment. Enjoy the presence of the fact that you're here, you're in this video, you're alive, you're breathing. You can feel the sensation of life itself because you are alive. Just appreciate that with me for a moment. If you really want to anchor it in, put your hand over your heart. And just relax. Did you know that we live on a floating rock in space, spinning at miles per hour that would blow your freaking mind? That all of the things that are required for life to take place here, for you and me to be here at all, the fact that you can shift your internal vibration and reality becomes so malleable that it responds to you differently. The fact that there's these little animals walking around, we call them dogs, and they just are totally part of the human society. What I'm asking you to do with me is look around you at what life is and admit to yourself that life is not reasonable. It has never been reasonable. Look at how any of this is happening at all and ask yourself, does it really make sense to listen to a voice that is telling me to be reasonable when life itself is not reasonable? Maybe it's time to realize that that voice doesn't actually know best. No matter where it's coming from or who's speaking that voice to you, it's time to admit that we live in an insane, magical place. Why aren't you listening to your heart? Why aren't you living from the dream that has always been yours? Why? Why? How are you even alive right now? The fact that you can see me, hear me, the taste in your mouth, the smell of the room you're in. What the hell? It's amazing. And yet, so many of us walk around in fear all day. And when our head hits the pillow, we spin and spiral in anxiety of what others think of us and all of our failures. And why? Do you see that it doesn't make sense? Do you see that this whole experience does not make sense? The more and more scientific discoveries they have, the more and more they poke their new scientific tools and equipment into the quantum realm, the more we realize we don't know what this is or what's going on. And I don't know about you, but I think that that's pretty fucking cool. So how about you realize just do it. Go for it. Nothing is stopping you except your own delusion. The only thing stopping you in your life from succeeding and living a life of fulfillment and joy, it's you. It's a certain part of you that isn't actually based in reality, but is based only in delusion, fear. What if this? What if that? As long as you're going to live your life in the what ifs, doesn't it make sense to acknowledge and at least be honest with it that you're not actually living real life? You're living in an idea of what life is, that you're just stuck in your head. You're not actually here experiencing what this really is. The moment you dip even just a toe into what this really is, and you're here in this world, and you live it, and you be yourself, you will experience a satisfaction and power that only you can discover. No one else can tell it to you. No one else can give it to you. We can all reflect it to each other. We can all synchronize and share things in little hits and downloads. But, you know, you're ready. I don't think that you're ready to dip a toe in to reality. I think you're ready to jump fully in. And to do that, you have to be willing to accept that dialogue of fear and anxiety and reasonableness. You have to accept that it's here, that that's some energetic story on loop. And I can't help but feel like this was a really important moment for us to synchronize and exchange some energy together. The acknowledgement that this is not a reasonable reality. So why would you listen to a voice telling you to be reasonable? That doesn't make sense. Something's off there. It doesn't quite add up, does it? So let's take this final moment that we're sharing together, before the next video, of course, and let's put our hands over our heart together and just feel this presence, this energy expansion, the electricity moving around in our field, and the ecstasy, the knowing, the peace. Funny that all it really takes to be in this kind of state is honesty, truth, and reality. That's all it takes. It's being willing to step outside of your own fantasy story. You think it's protecting you and keeping you safe, but it's not. It's keeping you from experiencing who you really are, and right now, you feel who you are. So be them. I know you will. Thanks. Much love to you. My name's Nathan, and you can check out all the Vibes and Frequencies services tagged in this description if you feel called to. See you for the next video.